If you've been doing home research online and keep coming up with Palmer Ranch and Waterside, this video is for you. Sarasota's wild. You've basically got two Floridas living side by side. Palmer Ranch, that's your laid-back, palm-shaded classic. Legacy trail rides, siesta key mornings, neighbors who actually wave, and then there's Waterside. Brand new, social, the let's go grab tacos and hit the lake crowd. There's a farmer's market on Sunday, live music on Wednesday, and boredom doesn't make it past the roundabout. They each crush it, just in totally different ways. One feels like old money calm, and the other is new energy and noise in the best way. So here's the fun part. Which lane do you see yourself in? The one that lets you breathe or the one that makes you feel alive? When you lived in Sarasota long enough, you start to notice the split. One city, two speeds that you can feel. One morning, you're grabbing coffee at Central Sarasota Parkway, rolling through those oak tunnels in Palmer Ranch while the sprinklers hiss and the air smells like rain. The next, you're over at Waterside Place, watching kayaks pull up for brunch, music spilling out from good liquid. It's the same city, just two different heartbeats. You can feel the difference before you even park the car. That's the stuff the search filters miss. So let's talk about what life actually feels like in each, because it's where "this is it" shows up for you. Sarasota has personality baked into every block. No two corners move the same way, and nowhere is that more obvious than when you line up Palmer Ranch and Waterside. Palmer Ranch feels seasoned. It's had time to settle into itself. 7,000 acres of master planned, calm, winding roads framed by live oaks and palms where herons stand still like they're part of the HOA. You hear sprinklers before sunrise, you see joggers gliding along the Legacy Trail before the heat kicks in, and smell fresh-cut grass mixing with coastal humidity that never really leaves the air. It's not flashy, but it's refined, like someone who doesn't have to dress up to impress you. Inside Palmer Ranch, each community has its own ecosystem. Take Village Walk, for example. Its town center hums with golf carts pulling up to grab coffee and a drink at the cafe. There's a gas station, a salon, and a post office right inside the gates, so you can live your whole week without ever actually leaving. And then a few minutes down the road, you got Esplanade, which leans into that resort feel with a pool that could pass for a boutique hotel, a Bahama bar, and the kind of events calendar that not even cruise ships can match. And if you're wired for prestige, TPC Prestantia is a different world entirely. The sounds of golf clubs meeting golf balls echoes through the palms, and the neighbors greet each other like they've known each other since college. And then if you head eastward towards Waterside, the tone flips instantly. The energy, it feels young, not just by age, but by attitude. You'll see golf carts with Bluetooth speakers and golden retrievers wearing sunglasses because this is still Florida, and Waterside is Lakewood Ranch's first Sarasota address village. It's built around a 36-acre lake with a town center that feels like a small downtown area. Ranch Night Wednesdays turn the whole waterfront into an outdoor block party filled with live bands, cornhole, food trucks, and people you've never met who still wave like you've been neighbors for years. Sundays belong to the market. Over 100 vendors, the smell of kettle corn drifting across Kingfisher Lake, and the sound of live music spilling from good liquid brewing. A water taxi glides between the neighborhoods and the town center. It's a lifestyle that celebrates motion, walkable, social, and just loud enough to feel alive. One of my clients, John and Sarah from New Hampshire, they've been snowbirding it from Venice every single year, and then they wanted to move to a community called Artistry because they like the home designs. And I told them, hold on, I have to show you what Homes by Town is building in Waterside. Long story short, they're living in Lake House Cove at Waterside, and they have thanked me several times for helping them make the right choice. Palmer Ranch, it moves like jazz, slow, classic, and timeless. Waterside plays more like a live set that's just finding its groove, different beats, but it's the same Sarasota soul. And if you're caught between these two rhythms, that's what we help people figure out. We are your local Sarasota real estate team of choice, the crew that lives and breathes this market every single day. Go ahead and call us, text us, email, whatever's easiest. All of our info is on the screen as well as in the description below. If lifestyle is about how you move, community is about who moves with you. The neighbors, the rhythm, the unspoken culture inside the gates, and in Palmer Ranch and Waterside, that contrast, it jumps off the map. Palmer Ranch feels like it was built by people who actually understand balance. It stretches across roughly 7,000 acres, all planned out decades ago under a development framework that has kept the mix of homes, parks, and trails in sync. That's why it feels mature, like the landscape and the people had time to grow into each other. Legacy Trail cuts right through it, so your morning ride or evening walk isn't something you schedule, it's just what you do. And then inside Palmer Ranch, every pocket has its own vibe. Village Walk hums early with golf carts lined up for coffee, espresso floating through the air, and neighbors waving before 8 a.m. There's the post office, the salon, and even gas pumps inside the neighborhood. Those are the kind of details you only appreciate when you realize how rare they are anywhere else. Esplanade is its own social machine. It has a resort-level pool, Bahama Bar, fitness center, activities director who probably remembers more birthdays than your group chat. The community calendar reads like a vacation itinerary with yoga, trivia, cocktail socials, all within walking distance of your house. And then TPC Prestancia, where the sound of golf balls echoes through the palms, handshakes, they feel like tradition. It anchors Palmer Ranch with that private club confidence. Some people call it luxury, I'd call it Sarasota with polish. And speaking of golf, a large difference in the two areas are the golfing options. Palmer Ranch has two golfing neighborhoods, Stony Brook on Palmer Ranch, which is private, and then TPC Prestancia, which is also private, but anyone can join even if you don't live in the community. Waterside, on the other hand, does not have any golfing neighborhoods associated with it. So you would have to become a member of the Lakewood Ranch Country Club if that was a perk that you wanted to enjoy. Now, let's drive eastward towards Waterside, and the shift, it hits pretty fast. This place, it doesn't whisper, it throws a party. Built around a 36-acre lake, Waterside Place feels like a mini downtown that somehow landed in suburbia. You'll find good liquid brewing, deep lagoon seafood, kill winds, and restaurants spilling onto the boardwalk under string lights and sunset colors. Wednesday nights are pure Sarasota energy. Ranch night brings live bands, volleyball, food trucks, and that open container stroll that turns the entire lakefront into one big social loop. Then Sundays flip the mood for the farmers market with over 100 vendors, live music, kettle corn. The whole place smells like coffee, sunscreen, and sourdough. What's wild is how Waterside turns everyday moments into community glue. These aren't just events, they're moments that pull you in. And one week you're walking your dog through the market, and the next someone's waving you into their trivia team at Good Liquid. It's that kind of connection that makes relocation buyers light up. Now, drop your favorite neighborhood vibe in the comments. Are you somebody that likes that Legacy Trail morning coffee or live music and lake views? Both places prove what people miss about Sarasota. Community here isn't an amenity, it's the infrastructure. The way these neighborhoods are designed keeps people bumping into each other, and that's where the real connection happens, on sidewalks, at farmers markets, and right in your own front yard. And that's where the differences start shaping daily life. The schools, the commutes, the flow of your week. Once you look at how your routine fits each place, the choice between them starts to feel a lot clearer. Let's talk geography that actually matters. Not just close to everything, but how it feels through it. Palmer Ranch sits in the pocket of South Sarasota that hits the sweet spot between beaches, golf, and the city. It's minutes from Siesta Key, but tucked far enough inland that you skip the weekend chaos and having to add all that crazy flood insurance. You can bike straight through the sand if you're ambitious, or take a 10-minute drive to Stickney Point and still make it before your coffee cools. Legacy Trail literally cuts through the heart of Palmer Ranch, so a lot of people use it for more than recreation. You'll see retirees running errands on e-bikes and families pedaling down for lunch at Sawyer and Beneva. It's mobility that doesn't feel planned, it just works. And when it comes to the drive, you're connected without feeling boxed in. I-75 is 5 to 7 minutes away, so airport runs and downtown trips don't turn into half-day events. Palmer Ranch locals will tell you they can hit the UTC Mall or downtown Sarasota faster than most people think. It's that balance of tucked away peace with real connectivity that keeps people here long-term. You feel that shift at Waterside the second you hit University Parkway. The roads, they widen, the sidewalks stretch, and the whole energy picks up speed. This is East County Sarasota with an edge. You're still in the Sarasota address zone, but you can sense Lakewood Ranch's pulse through newer infrastructure, better traffic flow, and an entire grid designed for what's next. From University Parkway, you've got direct access to I-75, Benderson Park, the UTC Mall, and all those new shops, restaurants that just keep multiplying. You're 25 minutes from downtown, 30 minutes to Siesta Key if you time it right, and seconds from some of Sarasota's widest open lake views, 36 acres of uninterrupted water views. And here's the part that surprises newcomers. Even with all that build-out, Waterside feels easier to move around than older areas. You can kayak to brunch or bike to a happy hour. You'll find that you won't fill your gas tank in weeks because everything you do is within a mile or two. The trade-off is pretty simple. Palmer Ranch gives you that quiet, shaded, established drive home. Waterside trades a little calm for convenience and community on demand, and both win depending on what easy living means to you. And location is only half the story, because once you've figured out where you move, the next question is how life flows when you get there. The schools, the commutes, the errands, the daily rhythm. That's where the personality of these places really shows itself, and where the decision between Palmer Ranch and Waterside starts to hit home. Now here's where Sarasota starts showing off. The homes, the builders, the little design details that make each street feel like its own statement. This is where lifestyle turns into architecture. Palmer Ranch wears its experience with confidence. Built over decades, it's the kind of place that's settled into itself. You see it in the shade of the oaks, the curve of the driveways, the way the morning light hits the stucco that's aged just right. The neighborhoods here were designed to last, with wide streets, deep yards, layouts that actually make sense. The lot lines are going to be a little bit bigger than what you get in that new construction era of Waterside. Builders like DeVos and Taylor Morrison, they left real fingerprints here. Village Walk stands out for its solid poured concrete construction, and that's built in, own town center energy. And then over at Esplanade on Palmer Ranch, the look leans clean and resort style, with floor plans that practically inhale sunlight. And then you've got the TPC Prestancia, the luxury anchor with homes tucked along golf course greens and lakes that smell faintly of fresh cut grass when sprinklers kick on before dawn. It's old school Sarasota luxury, but it's still definitely holding its ground. And what keeps Palmer Ranch relevant is its range. You can start in the 400s with the villa and then scale into the 800s for a single family home, or break $1 million for a lakefront estate. Or if you want something in one of these golfing communities such as Stony Brook, you can buy a condo in there for in the mid 200,000s. It attracts people who want something proven and beautifully broken in, not dated, but just established. Now let's flip the script, and Waterside is the new energy in town. You can feel the difference the second you drive in. Modern elevations, fresh landscaping, lake reflections bouncing off glass-heavy facades. Builders like Homes by Town, Lee Weatherington, John Cannon, and Pulte are shaping something cleaner and smarter here. Lakehouse Cove leans contemporary and social, while Shoreview plays up luxury with bigger lanais, water views, and designs that are as tech-forward as they are coastal. They're just bigger floor plans. Together, Palmer Ranch and Waterside tell the story of Sarasota's evolution. One is rooted in craftsmanship, the other in design innovation. They're not competing, they're two sides of the same Sarasota coin. If Palmer Ranch feels like the city's legacy, Waterside is its next chapter. One offers the comfort of a neighborhood that's grown into itself, while the other gives you the thrill of being part of something that's still writing its story. And that decision, stability or momentum, isn't just about square footage. It changes how your day flows, where your kids go to school, and how much time you spend in your car versus on the water. Here's where lifestyle meets logistics. Because let's be honest, the vibe of a neighborhood doesn't mean much if your mornings are chaos and the school run feels like a road trip. Palmer Ranch nails that everyday ease feeling. Families are zoned for top-rated schools like Ashton Elementary, Sarasota Middle, and Riverview High School, all known for very strong academics and their athletics. You can be out the door and parked for pickup in 10 or 15 minutes flat. That's the kind of thing you don't realize matters until you've done the 45-minute crawl across town. The Legacy Trail runs right through the area too, which means biking to school or morning jogs before work are actually doable, and you'll see people doing it every day. Errands are simple. Publix, Costco, fitness studios, coffee shops, all within minutes. You're close enough to hit Siesta Key Beach right after work, but far enough inland that you don't have to worry about the tourist traffic every weekend. The rhythm is calm and just suburban enough that your weekends feel like downtime. It wins on practicality, and that's the charm. No matter which part of Sarasota you call home, that 8 a.m. light cutting through the palm trees makes the commute sting a little bit less. Waterside, on the other hand, feels like Sarasota on demand. You got Waterside Place right there, the Sunday market, the lakefront restaurants, ranch night on Wednesdays. For schools, they're still trying to figure it out. They're currently in the planning phase of building a K-8 school. The high school it is zoned to one that is pretty far away, so they're going to be probably revamping that in the future. The infrastructure here was built with modern life in mind. Roads are wider, roundabouts keep traffic moving, and the walkability around the lake makes you want to stay a little longer. And here's the local truth. Most Waterside families don't plan their weekends. They just kind of flow through them. You'll see kids on e-bikes cutting across the boardwalk for ice cream, neighbors meeting for sunset drinks by the marina, and parents squeezing in a run before grabbing dinner at Good Liquid. You'll hear the click of bike gears, the chatter from the market, and maybe the splash of a paddleboard hitting the lake. That's Sarasota's version of everyday life. Easy, social, spontaneous. Sure, traffic still hits around I-75 at rush hour, but if that's your biggest complaint here, you're winning the small things. The average commute from Waterside to downtown is about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on the hour, but most people's daily routine doesn't even need that drive. They live, shop, eat, and unwind right where they are. And even though Palmer Ranch feels more established, its proximity to the beaches and cultural spots keeps it closer to Sarasota's pulse. Waterside gives you more of a self-contained ecosystem with newer roads, newer schools, and a constant hum of activity. One feels grounded and the other feels like momentum. At the end of the day, both lifestyles work. but they create completely different rhythms. Palmer Ranch gives you that structured flow, school drop-offs, grocery run, maybe a round of golf. Waterside lives faster, school events, live music, dinner by the lake, kids on scooters racing home at sunset. And how you live your Tuesday here says more about you than any brochure ever could. And when you start to see how your lifestyle fits with your surroundings, the next question always comes up: what's it really gonna cost to live that way? I've had clients who bought in Palmer Ranch 10 years ago. Their homes have doubled in value. But when we catch up, what they talk about most isn't the numbers, it's how steady life feels. That sense of calm, that we chose the right type of energy. And that's exactly what separates Palmer Ranch from the fast growth zones popping up around Sarasota right now. Now, picture Sarasota's map stretching east. Cranes hum near I-75, fresh rooftops catch the morning light, new schools and parks are shaping the skyline. The growth isn't hype, it's planned, strategic, and moving fast. And here's where it gets interesting. Lakewood Ranch, including Waterside, ranks among the top-selling master plan communities in the nation, with more than 2,200 new home sales just last year alone. That kind of consistent demand builds its own flywheel of new schools, upgraded roads, and employers planting roots. It's not a hot streak, it's an ecosystem. Palmer Ranch, by contrast, operates on patience. The 7,000-acre master plan was laid out decades ago, and it shows. You've got legacy golf communities like TPC Prestancia, resort-style enclaves like Esplanade, and a resale market that doesn't flinch even in shifting cycles. It's not chasing headlines, it's earning trust 1 year at a time. And then there's the infrastructure wave linking it all together. I-75 improvements, the new Moat Science Education Aquarium at Nathan Benderson Park, and the Center Point at Waterside's project expanding with retail and offices all prove that Sarasota's east side isn't emerging anymore. It's arrived. And if you're a relocation buyer, this is where the decision flips from which neighborhood feels best to which strategy fits your lifestyle. Waterside gives you growth and energy like investing in a high upside stock. Palmer Ranch gives you legacy and predictability, like a blue chip investment that compounds quietly in the background. And if you're thinking long term, both areas are going to suit you extremely well. All right, so here's where it gets real. Time to make it personal. You've heard all the facts, the lifestyle, but which one actually fits you? Because these two neighborhoods don't just attract different buyers, they attract different kinds of people with totally different energy. Let's start with Palmer Ranch. This is for the people who crave balance, not boredom, but calm confidence. You want to wake up to tree-lined streets, grab your coffee at a quiet cafe, and then hop on the Legacy Trail for a sunrise ride before work. You value structure, good governance, and a neighborhood that still feels established even when the world outside is moving fast. You're the kind of person who likes things that run smooth and look sharp. Maybe you're in your next chapter season and you're looking for that sweet spot between coastal proximity and everyday convenience. Waterside moves at a faster beat. It's for the vibe chasers, the ones who want to be in the momentum. You love a good farmer's market morning, you don't mind hearing live music across Kingfisher Lake on a Wednesday night, and you like knowing your favorite barista and bartender by name within a month of moving in. You thrive on community energy, you want walkability, social rituals, that I can kayak to brunch lifestyle that's equal parts fun and local pride. Waterside is for people who want to feel like they're part of what's next in Sarasota, not just what's proven. If you're analytical, you'll love Palmer Ranch's consistency. If you're instinctive, you'll love Waterside's spark. One's built for planners, the other's built for pioneers. But honestly, the best part is that both work. It just depends on what season of life you're in. And the good news is that this city covers the whole lineup. And if you're still torn, that's where my team comes in. Because matching someone to the right neighborhood isn't just about bedrooms or budgets, it's about the right fit. And when you get that part right, everything falls into place. So now that we've mapped out the lifestyles and personalities, let's talk about what it all means for your next move and how to turn all of this into action. This isn't just about where you live, it's about how Sarasota fits into your story. Palmer Ranch carries history and calm. Waterside hums with energy and innovation. Both show how the city keeps leveling up without losing what makes it magnetic in the first place. Sarasota is moving fast. Waiting to see what happens usually means watching the best spots slip by while everyone else is unpacking boxes. We are the local team and the people to call when it's decision time. We connect people to the neighborhoods that line up with how they actually live, not just what they can afford. Call us, text us, or email us. All of our info is in the description, as well as on the screen right now. Whether you're relocating, ready for a change, or just curious about where the city's headed next, we'll help you make sense of it with all the local insight, zero sales fluff. And before you leave, check out our playlist here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.